talking to you about the greater architecture of Soul Mission Tribe Building. And this is a channel transmission coming from the Soul Mission Destiny Mystery School Temple of Light. This is a transmission specifically for those who are here on earth, commissioned by the light of their own soul and their light families to assist the rising of humanity. This is part 1 of 2. I want to talk about and share with you about the dynamics that kick in when we go from being a human and a soul who feels that they want to make a difference in the world to actually birthing and giving birth to a soul mission brand, soul mission temple that attracts souls that you are here to share. And so, at the center of this architecture, there is a primal code. And I'm gonna be sharing something very exciting about this primal code for us to go deep at the end of part 2. So for now, let's take a journey. When we usually for mission souls, there are like 3 stages that we go through. The first stage is when we feel within that there is something that we want to make a difference. Basically, it's this feeling that we want to contribute, we want to do something for others and to support the planet, to support humanity. And normally, this takes us on a path of self-discovery. For most souls, this is where then they are going to go into stage 2. And stage 2 is where you go and acquire skills, modalities, healing modalities that you can now go and serve others with. And so this would be Reiki, or this would be massage, therapy, sound healing, any type of certification. And what this really does is that for most people, this really empower the courage to go out in the world and share this and share something. It is so beautiful because you really go from not knowing exactly how you can do something to having something tangible. But there is more. There is another stage. And that stage is when you start co-creating with your own channel, with your own divinity, with your own soul, with your own special je ne sais quoi that you get to bring to the game. And so this is when people go from being a Reiki healer and a sound therapist to being this person that people really look that people really want to work with and receive because of who they are and their special magic that they embody and share through their field. And by the way, there may be some noise, and thank you for staying with me. So we go from this desire to do something to this empowerment, and then there comes a moment where it's not about you being a coach, where it's not you belonging to a healing industry. It's not about like these things. It's about something that really wants to emerge and come through. And this is going to be your body of work. This is going to be your soul magic. This is very and intricately related with this primal code that we're going to explore deeper at the end of day 2. So what happens next? Normally when we do have like these gifts and these things to share, shortly after and quickly we discover that we need a way to put it out there and to share it with more people. And this is where normally, for most people, they are presented with a paradigm that is the third dimensional ways of doing business, marketing, as social media, but not as something empowering at all, but it's more as something that it's like the necessary evil. Like, you need to be on social media, like this is how you blah 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 should, you have to, like, all of these words that don't feel like they can light us up. And so when most souls on a mission get to this point, lots of things happen, and I've seen it over the years. Because how do you really squeeze magic and soul magic into a paradigm that is not even built for that? Because it measures, because of the way it's built, because of what it measures success with cash and clients and how much money, and then the next income goal, and the next thing and the next thing, and there's always like something, there's this game of chasing. And it's not weird that here at this specific stage is where most people feel lost. And I know this feeling of, and give me a yes in the chat if you've had this feeling of, oh my goodness, I have so much magic within me, but at this rate, all of this magic is gonna die inside of me, because insert whatever thing that you feel that you need to give your power away to, or that your mind is giving your power away to. I don't know how to create content. My Instagram platform is not growing. And what I'm here to share with you is that that's not the game. That's not just what's available, and there is more. And so this is where, if you are here in my universe, I have so many juicy stuff to share with you. And I am also so grateful, and I am so empowered in my gifts to continue to share what I'm about to share with you, and everything that gets to be shared within Mission Soul, the brand, because how beautiful to feel this is a playground, this is expansive, this is like soul magic in the form of architecture that expands my mission. And so we have two pathways, and one is the traditional and the business and all the things. And let me tell you that if you have soul magic to share in the world, traditional business coaches will only be able to support you so much, because it's like we speak light language to them. It's like the things that we have to share, what we stand for many of them, it can be really etheric, and not everyone is playing at the highest level of co-creation that is available through energetics and quantum energetics. So what is that other pathway? And that other pathway kicks in, drum roll. That other pathway really kicks in when we get to understand, first of all, that we are creators of worlds, and what we are here to share in the planet gets to be leveraged and gets to be expanded, empowered, growth by a proper energy frequency set of structures, living consciousness that amplifies our mission. And this is what I call a mission brand, and it is a architecture of divine influence. Why? I'm glad you asked. The reason for this is because we start acknowledging that it's not just us. Just like we are channeling the light of our soul, and by amplifying our hearts and the gifts that we share, like psychic healing, psychic abilities, healing, cosmic energy, just like that, we are a channel of a much bigger collective. Your collective lives within your mission brand. And so here I also want to make a very important distinction before I go further. And that is the distinction of a personal brand versus a mission brand. A personal brand is all about you. What you ate, your new pants. There is pressure somehow on you oversharing parts of your life potentially because people need to know. It's like people are hooked to you. The biggest difference between personal brand and a mission brand is that you are the channel of something much greater, and whoever comes and co-creates with you within this structure usually stands for the same stuff in the world, same values. They have a similar vision. They want to see a reality in the planet that is very similar to what moves you. So in that sense, it's like you are the priestess of the temple. It's like you are the ambassador of a much greater energy. And it is not about you. It is about that channels through you in co-creation with your light families and this beautiful divine architecture of divine influence, which is fully alive, filled with quantum technologies, filled with codes, libraries, friends, different grades. This is a delicious paradigm, and I'm so happy to be sharing this with you. So we get to channel our soul magic, and this is where we actually start channeling more. And you get to use tools that you already have. Maybe it's shamanism, maybe it's family constellations, maybe it's Akashic records, maybe it's human design. But other things and other approaches and other ways of doing things and other structures start coming live and coming online, because once again the game stopped being individual and started being collective. The moment that you start co-creating more with the light of your own soul and the light of your light families, and intentionally create this architecture, you nurture it, you breathe light, you reside in it. I told you at the beginning of this transmission, this is a channel transmission from within the temple of the soul, mission, destiny, mystery school, and there is a specific part from which I'm channeling this from, and this is what I am talking about. You get to intentionally create and get your magic. One way I really love to I'm gonna give you a visual, because I really love when I can get like these visuals for myself. Maybe you are the same. And so one very cool visual, for example, that I can invite into this conversation is the visual of a temple. And so imagine for a second the Giza pyramids, right? So Egypt, the pyramids, we all know them. And now imagine for a moment all the hieroglyphs, like the scriptures in the walls, all of these beautiful, like the things, like I call them hieroglyphs, like hopefully that's the way you say it, but like all the things that are scripted in the walls. And now for a second, keep those in your mind while making the wall disappear. And so all you have is all of these codes, all of these scriptures, all of this light language floating around. That is what we get to do with our offerings. no longer an offer. My goodness, how much money I threw down the drain. Getting real here with you. Wanting to receive help from a being in the third and fourth dimension consciousness to birth my own offerings and see how I could articulate the magic of my soul into this, into teachings, into magic, into messaging. It's very hard. It's very hard, let me tell you. For them, because it's a different paradigm. That's why I'm doing this live. And I'm excited about this. And so going back to the visual of this temple and the codes and all of this, now imagine for a split second that all of these light language codes, things that are in the walls and now they're floating around, they have signature frequencies. They have information. Some of them are multidimensional keys. And when people come to receive from these temples, we activate the highest level of service within this architecture. So, in the context of the greater architecture of Soul Mission Tribe building, there is a primal energy that we activate to be able to call souls in. And then when we have intentionally turned our brand into a coded mission brand, into the brand of your multidimensional mission, some temples, some offerings are going to multidimensionally, through the realms of the quantum and the energy, call very specific people. So can you see how it's not just us, it's not just our messaging, it's not just what we do. The greater architecture of Soul Mission building invites us to see that we came here to anchor our deepest, most profound bodies of work in different light architectures and temples, infrastructures that are alive and that have the capacity also to go through time and space those that are here to be served in them, inside of them, because from before incarnation this was written. It was written that you will be the keeper of some codes and some keys, and that they will find you, that they would find you to receive them, because these specific codes, these specific keys unlock so much more of their expression and their own unique service in the world. We all carry very unique keys. The greater part of the greater architecture, and this is what I'm closing with today, a huge part of the greater architecture of attracting and building a soul tribe is understanding that from before incarnation, you said, I'm gonna hold some keys, and other people, like our collective of mission souls and the souls that we are here to serve, are the same. They hold unique and different keys, and as people come to work with us, they get to unlock more of what they are also going to be serving, and the light, the specific light that they are going to plant on this earth. And this is a game of ascension, in the way that we all contribute to this greater dynamic. So today was part 1 out of 2 of the greater architecture of Soul Mission Tribe building. Join me for part 2. Hey baby, hi Orit, so good to see you. And at the end of day 2, I'm gonna be sharing a beautiful invite and something very special for us to explore this conversation deeper. I love you so much, and see you on part 2 very soon.